What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And today we're going to be talking about the recent announcements here in game with the new Treasure Sugo Fest, which is going to be going live tomorrow as of the recording of this video. But man, this is just like really odd. Just a lot of really odd decisions were made for this upcoming event. And I think that if things like this continue, Treasure Map, once again, I mean, a lot of people already don't like Treasure Map the way that it is currently right now. But obviously the big draw to Treasure Map is the rewards. The rewards you get for playing the game are amazing, and you do need to play it to get those limit break materials to inevitably buff your characters. You need to play Treasure Map, and typically the free-to-play Treasure Map characters are actually very good. However, I must admit that this time around they've done a pretty poor job at managing what they're doing for this event period. So let's just start from the top. We've got the new Sugo Fest announcement, 7.5% chance to pull a Sugo Fest exclusive character. We've already talked about the Sugo Fest with the data download yesterday, but it doesn't really give us much more information from what we already kind of knew anyways. But we do know that the new booster, the Nami Carrot, is a 1.8 times point booster, 1.4 times point booster for Pudding and Smoothie. And the interesting thing about this Sugo Fest, right, is when you look at part 1, these are the characters that are available. You do see that Alba is available. That's good. Everyone loves Legend Alba. You move over to part 2 though, Legend Queen is available, which is kind of cool, and then on part 3 you have Legend Jack available. But the glaring issue here is the fact that on this Treasure Sugo Fest, the characters that debuted at the start of the month, being Robin Koala and Ulti Black Maria, they're not available on this banner, which is just something that we've never really expected to see before. Usually, these characters are always available on the Treasure Map Sugo Fest, so even if you don't pull them on the debut, you do get another opportunity to get them on the Treasure Sugo Fest. That is not happening this time around, so that's already a pretty big red flag that these new units that are likely going to be very good in this Treasure Map that have perfect synergy with the new Legend Nami and Carrot are not pullable on the banner. I don't know what to say, guys. It doesn't seem like a very good idea. I hope that this is maybe just a one-off or even potentially an error. Maybe, not too sure. One Piece error cruise, you know what I mean? But I don't know. This is just not worth it. Honestly, just because of those units not being available. Yes, there are still some good units available on these banners, but realistically speaking, I just don't like what they've done here. I don't like the fact that those units are pullable, or not pullable, should I say, because that's definitely going to reduce the amount of pulls that I'm going to do on this banner. I'm going to do a handful, maybe get one booster, and that's it. Honestly, that is pretty much it. But speaking of boosters, there is also something else we need to discuss, and it's regarding Treasure Map versus Flampe. So this is the new character, Flampe, so we can kind of discuss what she does, because we didn't get a chance to do that yet. So she is Int Shooter Cerebral. Captain ability isn't like the greatest. Special ability, we did talk about it in the data mine, I believe. So it's an okay effect, you know, 3 turns of a chain boost, and if you've already got one, you get increased damage taken as well. And then if you have a Katakuri on your team or as a support on her, then you can delay all enemies and inflict paralysis on all enemies, which is, you know, it's interesting that there's like different effects that you can get. She does have Hunger as a free-to-play unit, which is always useful to have. What else is here? Fighter, Striker, Shooter, Cerebral, Powerhouse, 60 base stat bonus, which I believe that's interesting that it's those classes, because I think that those are the classes that Katakuri had in the V1 counterpart, which is the one where he actually had the scarf. So it actually makes thematic sense that those are the classes that receive the buff here. Very interesting. And then the other crewmate ability boosts damage versus Psy characters, so just further damage versus Psy, which is okay. Support effect, I actually don't remember what the support was. Charlotte Katakuri changes the character slot into matching and makes it easier to land perfects at the final stage. It's a terrible support, not really going to see a lot of play. And then in Rumble, she gives buffs to shooters, and then her special 20 CT is pretty low. 1 high special CT for attack down level 5, defense down level 5, and 30% reduction. Yeah, pretty bad special. You're not going to be using this character in Rumble, unfortunately. But the actual fact that this upcoming Treasure Map event is so interesting is the boosted list. Now, everything that you see here in terms of the text is essentially every other Treasure Map that we've had. Once again, you can get the alternating pen on the bonus maps, which is, well, that's interesting. We'll see how that goes, right? It does say that Stussy is going to be like the secret encounter in this event. But then we get to the boosted list. Now, it's interesting you see here that it's a 1.8 point boost for the top, 1.4 boosters in that next segment there, and then it goes down to 1.35s. And in terms of the characters that are boosted, there's no like a real surprise here. But the interesting thing is that people have done calculations, and in this treasure map, the highest point boost you can possibly achieve is like a 12 times multiplier or a 13 times multiplier, which is incredibly low. Like if you do all these pulls, get all the new characters, including, you know, Robin Koala, Ulti Black Maria, everything, the highest you can get is like a 12 times multiplier or 13 times multiplier, which is ridiculously low. Like, it just means that to get to those treasure rewards, you know, getting, you know, to 10 million points or whatever to get all of the rewards, it's going to take you quite a lot of runs, even if you have all the boosters. And even if you don't, it's going to take even longer to get to that point. So it's just a little strange. You know, I feel like if you're going out of your way to pull for these characters, they should give you a pretty substantial increase to points. And the fact that they're doing it this way is interesting, because it does mean that the players that pull versus the players that don't pull are actually brought closer together in terms of how many points that they're actually earning. But of course, if you do pull the units, not only are you getting more points, but it's making your life a whole lot easier, because typically the point boosters deal with the content itself. We'll have to see how it all unfolds, but I do think that it's a very, very strange decision to make these boosters that people are going to have to go out of their way to spend gems for don't even give you that much, you know, of an increase in points. Again, is a little odd. Another thing that was announced today is the new Limit Break expansions, and there's only 3 characters that were added, and once again, due to the OPTC Girls celebration, we have some female characters receiving some buffs. So the Rare Recruit Shinobu, no one really cares about, doesn't really see any play. However, the Pyre Rumble character Sanderzonia, that's the big one there, because Sanderzonia does actually see some play in Pirate Rumble. On mono strength teams, you can use her for sure. Works very, very well with Marigold and Boa Hancock, and as we know, we recently got the addition of Boa Marigold as a new Rumble Rare Recruit, which has perfect synergy with Sanderzonia. So being able to have that new character, you have potentially Kizuna Boa Hancock, or the waifu, you know, with Nami, Robin, and Boa, along with this Sanderzonia is a great combo, just super, super good. So I like the fact that she's receiving a buff. And then the Kizuna, what's her face? Chiffon. Kizuna Chiffon, like, she's okay. She has a pretty okay special, but realistically, it's a character that doesn't see a lot of play. But she's not too bad, you know. It's nice to have a unit like that, but very, very odd choices for Limit Break expansion. So we'll have to see how things move forward. But definitely the big highlights of these expansions nowadays are definitely, you know, characters that have special bind removal specials, because they could potentially receive fear resistance with their potential ability. Usually that's pretty important, but you know, the fact that these Rumble units get increased statistics, and then another potential ability which further increases their Rumble statistics as well, that makes a big difference when you do use them in Rumble. Finally, there is going to be a new gem sale for the Treasure Sugo Fest, but I mean, you know, I don't think too many people are going to be spending too many gems or too much money for gems this time around anyway. I will admit though that the one down the bottom there, 10 gems for one purchase, and I think it's like $1, right? $1 US for 10 gems. It's actually kind of worth it, you know, considering when you have a look at mathematically how much everything else costs. $1 for 10 gems is a very, very good price. Like, imagine it being like $100 for 100 gems for $10, right? It's an absolute steal. So 10 gems for $1, definitely worth picking up, even if you don't spend that much money on this game. Always worthwhile, but you know, probably want to be waiting until the next Super Sugo Fest until they release a brand new batch of amazing gem sales. But like, that's pretty much it. You know, I just wanted to discuss the recent odd behaviors on the dev side in regards to the Treasure Sugo Fest, because the fact that you have these monthly release legends, where are they? Where's the banner for the new units? Like these units here. The fact that these units are not pullable on the Treasure Sugo Fest upcoming at all is just so weird, you know? Considering every other banner that's been like that has had that capability before. And the fact they're not doing it this time around is so odd. And I think that that's really going to deter people from pulling. I know that a lot of people are still going to be huge fans of Nami and Carrot as a legend. And, you know, more power to you. But I'm only going to be doing a handful of multis. Let me just check once again what's it at. So the first pull is 30 gems. The second pull is going to be a really trash step. The third pull is a recommended step, so I'm definitely going to at least 3 multis to get, you know, hopefully one of the new units to use in the event itself. But I don't think I'm going to be going too much past that at all. But anyways, let me know your thoughts and opinions about all of these changes down below in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts about this new treasure map and how things are going to go. Now, currently, we don't know what the bosses do in this treasure map versus Flampe, because they haven't updated it yet. So we actually have to wait until, I think, the new day is when the bosses information will be input into the game. If we go over to the treasure map team builder, you see in the top left hand corner, it doesn't actually show any of the boss information. So we do have to wait a little bit of time before we do get to see that. But when we do, we will be able to have a look at the bosses and start bringing you guys preparation for this upcoming treasure map. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.